Hey everybody, it's Thursday.
And welcome to this week's edition of The Night Bite.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Emily. And thanks for being with us for a whole year of shows.
A whole year? Oh man, I was supposed to change that intro. Well, I'll get to it.
We'll get to it. We couldn't quite decide what we thought it was going to look like. So we have a great idea going forth, but just amazing that an entire year has gone by already because gosh, it feels like just yesterday that we started this. So
Yeah.
What an adventure it's been. And I guess we have talked to a whole bunch of people already.
So many cool people. And so, we got to see some cool products, talk to people that, sometimes we don't normally get to talk to, but also some good friends. And it's been really fun.
It was too far back.
Yeah. And I guess we are talking about it like it's ending and it's not, like we're reflecting and all of this. But I think that is the thing is that this is just the beginning. There's a lot of things that we've learned along the way. And a lot of things that you guys have chimed in, kind of helped us with. And so that's been really awesome. So love the different connections and ideas and all the different things that you guys suggest, because we take all that into consideration and we try to line up those guests and do those things and all of that.
Yeah, and you guys have been super great, like just chiming in and giving your input. We've had some slow nights. It's only Emily and I put on a 20-minute show sometimes, and we've had some nights that push that hour mark, and it's just so much fun, and we're sitting around laughing, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome to continue it. But we get to continue it and do shows this year, so we're super excited to get out there next week.
And that is actually a really great point. We do have the Sioux Falls Ice Institute, the Dakota Angler Ice Institute coming up next weekend. So if you're in that area or if you're not, make sure to come and visit it because actually it's a really great show and we travel a pretty great distance for it. So it's worth it. And then the week after that, so November 19th, we have the Blaine Hardwater Expo. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Tons of stuff that go on there. The weekend after that is Thanksgiving, and then it is December and St. Paul.
What that means?
Yeah.
St. Paul.
That is a whole bunch of fun, and we didn't get to have that last year. So really excited for that coming up.
Yeah.
I guess as far as, we do always give a little bit of a fishing report, and water temperatures are in the mid 40s. So I think I saw a memory from a year ago and we had already been on the boat, like cutting skim ice in some of these different locations. But this year, we still have open water and I honestly don't know if I've seen that much ice yet or really anywhere yet, not around me. So
no, actually at work, I did find a little puddle that had some ice on it. But other than that, everything's pretty much wide open. We might go check out a lake, but that might be short-lived because I have a feeling that they're turning over as we speak. So it might just be a little bit of rivers until ice out here. So, which not a bad option to have.
Yeah. And, with those shows, that does make that time go really super fast. And so we go from open water and then hopefully right onto ice after that. But we will see how that all goes.
Yeah. And check out our little Facebook video that we put out this evening on the YouTubes and our Facebook page because we got a little fire stove for ice season.
That is going to be a whole lot of fun. So,
yeah.
Other than that, we are really excited to get the show moving along, and we have a really exciting guest here tonight. So I see that they're moving around with their camera, but they look a little bit settled. So let's bring you guys in. Widowmaker Lures, Brian, thanks for being here.
Hey, Brian.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Great.
Awesome.
We are excited to be here again this year and showcase some new products tonight and show the audience some of our new upcoming products for this upcoming ice season.
That is always really exciting because, man, you have such a range of stuff to choose from. But the amazing thing is that you guys still keep coming up with novel products. So that is really exciting.
Absolutely.
Got a bunch of people chiming in already. That's awesome. Hey, Carla. Hey,
Jordan, yeah. Just got Scud missiles in the mail. Oh, my gosh. That's
awesome.
Actually really lucky.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, I mean, I guess, Brian, before we get moving along too fast here, obviously there is a bunch of people here who do know you. But let's say that there's somebody out there who has never run into Widowmaker lures before. Can you tell us about yourself?
Absolutely. Widowmaker's been in business since 1985. I was a very, very avid fisherman growing up, and my wife and I actually acquired the company 10 years ago this year. It's crazy. It's been 10 years already, but it's been a ton of fun. Since then, obviously, we've implemented a lot of new products, including the entire tungsten line. Like Emily said, we try to come up with some new and innovative products every year. And we not necessarily just come up with new stuff just to come up with new stuff. We try putting a lot of thought into everything, making sure it's obviously we do a ton of testing as well. We thank our pro staff and obviously our great customer base for that. But develop new product that's not only catches the fisherman, but also catches fish.
That's actually a really funny way to put that, because as a lure maker, you almost have to catch the fishermen before they can catch the fish. So you have to be able to pick up the right item at the right time. But that's the thing is, it's almost too hard at your booth because it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I know you mentioned earlier about the upcoming ice shows, and we will be at Sioux Falls next weekend out there at South Dakota. And then, like you said, a month from now, we'll be up at the big St. Paul ice show. So we're looking forward to those coming up as well.
Heck yeah.
Well, and I guess that's a really funny thing because when I talk about you and I refer to you in like your booth, I mean, that's because, you have a whole website, you have a whole social media presence, tons of great stuff going on. But that's the thing is because when I think of Widowmaker, one of the things that I think about is walking up to all of your tables set out because it is like a fisherman's candy store. It is, the colors are bright and vivid and there's patterns and it just always, oh gosh, such a welcoming place.
You wouldn't even think that you could fill up a grocery bag full of such little items, but you can.
Yeah,
and it works
absolutely.
out because your wallet is that much lighter.
Definitely, we can help you out with that. Yeah, for sure. It's nice at the shows. Obviously, like you said, we usually display all of our jigs in the bulk bins, and it's nice because everybody come through and scan everything we have. Right now, we're actually up to 300 tungsten SKUs, so our product line does continue to get bigger. So it's nice at the shows. You can see it all right there in person. You can touch it, feel it, make sure it's the exact size you want, and go home. And obviously, we usually cut you some pretty good show deals as well.
I hear show deals. That's always awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. So for the people at home, I'm interested in hearing, if you know who Widowmaker Jigs is, if you have some at home, what is your favorite?
Yeah,
because I would like to highlight some of those old favorites throughout the show. And when I say old, I mean, not even all of them are that old. There's jigs from last year, just the year before, some really great stuff that work fabulous. But that's the thing is everybody likes kind of something different. So I am interested in what you guys are using. And I'm going to throw out Josh's favorite because I don't know why. I'm just going to do
you
it.
throw your favorite. Don't
I already
spoil mine.
Well, I don't know if I don't have a favorite. I can't pick.
Okay, you can spoil mine.
The Dragonflies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are really, really unique horizontal profile. So definitely go and check those out. I love them. The plastics fit really well. And
hey, Jinx. Yeah, I love those dragonflies. It's kind of like a really sweet horizontal spoon presentation. Man, the colors you can make it be a bug, you can make it be a minnow. I was catching 12-inch perch right over the side of the boat in 4 feet of water, just letting it sit there.
actually, that was true.
I had just a minnow sitting on it, and so it's one of my favorite dead stick, presentations, open water or ice. So that little jig has put more fish in my net than most of any of the other stuff in my tackle box.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think you guys bring up a good point with that too, and it's something that fishermen tend to do is stick to what they know. So, I mean, like obviously when tungsten came out, that teardrop was the traditional pattern. Every company had it. When everybody thought of tungsten ice jigs, that's what they thought is that traditional teardrop. And today everybody still does offer teardrop. Obviously there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different paint jobs and schemes out there and plated colors and everything like that. And that's one thing I like to challenge people to this year is try something outside of your norm. Maybe try the Dragonfly, try the Scud Missile or the Lucky Lady. Like you said, it's not just about catching fishermen, it's about catching fish. And that's a good point because like even that Dragonfly, when we first showcased that lure, everybody was a little intimidated to try it. And as they begin trying these different profiles, they realize like, holy cow, these definitely have their place in time. And a lot of times they will outfish that traditional teardrop. It's nice to have them all. I know like us personally, a lot of my, you guys still got me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I don't know what happened there. Us personally, I know a lot of my family and friends love that Lucky Lady around here. We use that a lot when the fishing gets tough. I know up along the Mississippi, they absolutely love the Scud Missile through the ice. Like that is one of their favorite jigs up there. I can't paint those Scud Missiles fast enough come ice season up there on Mississippi. That number 21, if anybody's up there fishing the Mississippi, look at our normal Scud Missile color 21. What it is, it's a fluorescent yellow, orange back, and a little pink head on it. And up and down the Mississippi, they order that one like crazy. So absolutely. Like I said, just challenge yourself, maybe try something outside the norm. It's funny because if I get a big order sometimes online and they order all droppers, what I'll even do is I'll just write sample on there and I'll throw some Scud Missiles or Lucky Ladies in with their order just to try to get them to open up a little bit and deviate from the norm and try something new.
That's actually really awesome to open up your package and like see like an extra surprise. And that is something that motivates me to try something new. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
We do have a question here from Ryan. Will you guys have your Mega Jig packs for sale this year?
We will. Absolutely. I got something really cool to show you here in a bit. One of the main reasons is we completely redid our Tungsten Suitcase. It's kind of the holdup on that. We will be, I'd say, releasing those online in the new box probably in the coming week. We're hoping to get that up and going before the Sioux Falls show. Like I said, but that's been the biggest holdup is we completely redesigned the box that comes in. So that's been the holdup on that, but it should be up there soon. That's for sure. And that's another good point too, is not just us in general, but I know industry wide, I did a lot of the wholesale retail shows earlier this year, with the different wholesalers. And that's kind of the common theme throughout the industry is I'm not trying to like push you guys or anything, but if there's something you really want this year, I would strongly advise buy it now. I've been talking to some of the different wholesalers and they're having major issues getting certain products or certain jigs or certain electronics. The whole supply and demand wheel is obviously still off countrywide, industry-wide, globally, really. So that is something like even with our stuff, like we got a good supply, but we're seeing a lot of very, very strong orders and stuff's flying out the doors. So I'd strongly recommend maybe if you're getting something, a jig kit for somebody for Christmas, just buy it now. Get it now, get it ahead of time. That way you ensure you got it. I just don't want to see anybody let down come second week of December and the 40-piece kit they wanted, the 30-piece kit is sold out. So again, just buy ahead. And that's not just for us. Like I said, that's augers, Vexilars, whatever it be. If you can get your hands on it, I'd advise to get it as soon as possible.
Yeah, Brian brings up a great point. This has been echoed through almost every show and every conversation that we've had with other retailers and wholesalers is that, we're just catching up, right? And so it's hard to catch up when you're always going 2 steps backwards and 1 step forward, but we'll get there. But just this year, if you have some gaps to fill in your gear line, just get it while you know you can.
Absolutely. Yeah, great point. Yeah, I think obviously by next season, I sure hope so, and I firmly believe it will be caught up. It's not just a supply and demand wheel. Shipping's really messed up right now, so hopefully all that eases off over the next year. Like us, everybody's like, God, you paint your own tungsten. You paint a lot, and we paint a lot of it. We paint majority of our tungsten SKUs right here in this shop. But the biggest thing is we still need to bring that raw tungsten over. So again, we're still involved with the whole supply and demand wheel as well, even though we do a lot of it ourselves. Our entire lead line, we do ourselves. But again, I struggle to get components for the Neely bugs, or it might be the hooks the Mustad hooks that we get. It's just been crazy industry wide. So like I said, if there's something you really want or you really want as a gift, go ahead and just grab it while you can. That's for sure.
Well, and I guess I want to expand a little bit on one of the things that you just said there, just to kind of spread some awareness of things that people read about online this time of the year. You were talking about doing your own lead in your own shop and everything, and that is doable. That is something that people, can get into. You need the components and the right setups and all of that. But so often people hear about like tungsten shortage or waiting for it to come over, or, I thought that you were an American company, but that's the thing is tungsten is so much different different from lead as far as a metal. You can't just melt that in your basement. That's not something that you can like make a mold and just like do in your household or do in your company here. That's like a major thing that takes a major process. So, you know, a lot of these jigs do need to come from that source. So to be able to bring that over here and then, you know, make a great product out of it, I mean, that takes a lot of time too.
Absolutely. Yeah, great point, Emily. It's not just, yeah, I mean, we paint it, we can paint them as fast as we can, but if we can't get the raw materials, we're still in the same boat. So we're trying hard. We have a hell of an inventory. We're still pushing hard, but like I said, we're seeing a lot of big orders. I think a lot of the retailers and wholesalers are scared of running out, so the orders have been heavier than ever. And what that does is obviously people are panic buying, it depletes the supply as well. So you have that on top of everything else. So,
yeah.
Absolutely. Should we go into new products? Should we show them what we got for this year?
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's see it.
All right, you guys ready? Let's do it. All right.
I feel like I need a drum roll, but like I hope everyone does that at home.
So I can see it.
Yeah. So speaking of new profiles, new body styles, this is something we've actually been working on for a couple years, and we finally got it dialed in and perfected where it was workable, it was doable, and it was exactly how we wanted it. So the first item I'm going to show you is our brand new, this is called our Tungsten Droplet. So what we're doing there is we're offering that in 6 different colors and 2 different sizes. So this is going to be our 5mm equivalent. It's the exact same weight as a 5mm, but it comes with a number 10 hook. And over here, we got our 4mm equivalent, weighs the exact same as a 4mm, and that has a number 12 hook in it. So let me show you guys like the biggest benefits. You look at it and say, yeah, it's kind of just an elongated dropper. And you're right, it is. But let me show you what is so special about that. So again, here it is. There's a brand new Tungsten Droplet. You can see that there. And there's your traditional 5mm dropper. Like I said, both of these jigs weigh the exact same. They both weigh 1.5 grams. And that was our biggest thing when we designed this. We wanted to keep those weights everybody's familiar with. But the biggest thing about the droplet is you can see that profile is a lot narrower. So you get on a tough bite, you get a finicky fish, they won't feel that big profile, that big round profile of your traditional dropper. What's nice about that, it could be fished just like that. The bigger one could use a small minnow, obviously put wax worm spikes on both of them as well. Like I said, 6 colors, glow in the darks. The biggest kicker to this is when you go to fish plastics. So you go to fish plastics, what you actually do is slide that plastic right up over the collar. So what that does is it obviously hides some of your profile, and it also gives you a compression fit on there. So your plastics actually stay on there far better. They don't slide down because they have a lot more to slide onto than just your traditional hook shank. Again, they slide right over the body. You can see, again, how much smaller that profile is. When you have that plastic on there, fish hits that, he's going to feel that soft plastic. He's not going to feel that dense tungsten head. So again, exact same weights as your 5mm, just a much narrower profile, and then it has that collar on it where you can slide your plastics up. And here is the smaller, that's the 4mm equivalent there. You can see there's the traditional 4mm, and there's the 4mm drop. Yeah, you can see how much smaller that head is. Again, exact same weight, 0.9 grams. It's actually the same color pattern there and everything. There it is there. One of the cool things about these too is, so when we were designing, we said, well, should we paint the collar? What should we do with the collar? And I said, actually, let's just run the paint all the way through it. Let me show you guys something neat about this. So when you use, so right here, he's going to show you. So what's nice here is when you use translucent plastics, that body actually glows right through your plastic as well. Look at that. So what's nice is it doesn't matter what color plastic you have. Again, as long as they're translucent, you can still see that jig right through that collar, which is awesome. So you can get them colors you want, but still, like I said, have that soft profile so the fish, when they hit it, they're not feeling that dense tungsten head all the time. So like I said, there it is in the 6 colors, 2 sizes. They all do glow in the dark. I'll hit them one more time just to show you. Oh, got my... So there they are in the flashlight off. You can see that they light up pretty good.
Yeah,
and obviously,
it comes across really clear on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Did it come across clear or not?
Honest to God, it does. I'm speechless a little bit, to be honest. This is real life reaction. I want it that bad.
Yeah. And one thing about the glow colors, I just want to touch on it. I get this question a lot via email or phone call, stuff like that. Is the lighter the glow color, the brighter and longer it's going to glow. So obviously, like your Wonder Bread, your white with pink dots, those are going to be your best glowing colors. They're going to glow like a bright chartreuse. Then as you get darker in the color pigments, it's not going to glow as bright or as long. So like our purple, yeah, it gives off a great like purplish blue glow. but it's not going to light up like your Wonder Breads or your whites. And I'll show you one more time. Just going to take a look at the color palette down the line. You can see, obviously, we start off with white, then we go to that chartreuse down to the orange and pink. Here we go. So you can see when I light them up, see how they still glow well, but not nearly as bright, obviously.
Well, and that's
lighter
great.
colors.
Sometimes there's different applications because, especially at night, that glow is just so impactful. But sometimes fish are a little bit spooked by something that's a little too bright. So to have something that, there's an array there to choose from, that is really useful.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, so down, a lot of times if you're in clean water, you're out at night and you're lighting them up, maybe back off to like your oranges, your pinks, your purples, something with a little pigment in to tame down that glow a little bit. I just wanted to kind of showcase it to you guys, and you can see obviously there's several different glow colors that come out of those as well. If there's any questions on those, just go ahead and shoot and we can answer those as well. But again, that's our Tungsten Droplet. That's not even online yet. Its official release is going to be next week. We're going to get them up on the website next week. I'm guessing we want to, again, do it before Sioux Falls show. I'm guessing next Wednesday or Thursday, and we will have those with us as well at Sioux Falls. So that'd be the first time they're available to the public to start filling orders as well. Then over to another new jig.
Okay, wait, one more thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So earlier in the show, there was, we were talking about people's favorites, and there was a lot of shout outs for the different polka dot patterns. A few people had some favorite colors, but the other thing that you had mentioned is branching out into some new things. And I love that, in the different lines that you have those patterns that carry across. So if, for example, people love that polka dot dropper, this is a fabulous alternative to start to be able to mix those things up like we were talking about. So if you're looking for something new and something different, then that's like 2 boxes in one check.
Very good point, Emily. Obviously, yeah, if you're to say, hey, obviously the pink crackerized, that's my go-to, that's my favorite jig. Well, what's great about that now is we offer the pink crackerized in the droplet. We offer it over here. Show this one here. Sammy, there's our pink crackerized in Lucky Lady and pink crackerized in the Scud, like you are. We are running those same popular glow patterns throughout our new products. That way, like you said, you already have the color dialed in. Now you can just switch over to whatever profile you need that they want that day, or maybe that body of water that you're on, what they prefer out there. So, and then while we're at it, let me go ahead and give our new light a plug. Obviously, you guys seen it. So what we did, came out with a new UV light this year. We redesigned. It's a lot higher quality light. It's in a nice aluminum case, has the clip, very, very small. So it fits in your pockets, real easy. It does have a zoom on it. I'll turn off the lights. I'm just going to show you guys. So it's nice. You can turn it on, and it has a zoom. You can see the jigs there. You can zoom in, zoom out, get it really bright if you're just lighting up, something very small. Always expand it out if you're lighting up a big spoon or something like that. So again, there's our new UV light. One of the nicest things about it is it just takes one single AA battery. So just your traditional AA, nothing crazy. You don't need to worry about recharging it or some special little battery. You can find them anywhere, throw it in there, and you're good to go. So that's our new UV light, $5.99, all aluminum casing. Like I said, it's all UV, very, very bright light as well. So there's that one. And then should we go on to the other new tungsten jig?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
You guys ready? All right. So right here is our brand new disco ball. So what we did there is we kept our traditional cannonball is a 6 millimeter. So that's what we did here. We kept that 6 millimeter size that everybody loves. Then we got our 5 mil, 4 mil, and 3 mil. And what makes these so special is you probably can't see it a lot, obviously, on that cell camera as you can in person, but these are actually faceted. So on all the sides, they're cut almost like a diamond would be. So they throw off a ton of reflection. We've always had a lot of requests for, hey, can you make different size cannonballs? I love the gold cannonball, but can I get it in different sizes? Or can you make it in rainbow? So what we did here is kind of satisfied everybody all in one punch. We got all 4 sizes, and we just did the top 3 colors. So we got the gold, the rainbow, and the silver. So you only have 12 in that whole series, but it can satisfy all the way up to like your, say if somebody wants to use a minnow on that big 6 mil, or you're fishing 30, 40 feet of water. I mean, that's a heavy, heavy jig, all the way down to this tiny, tiny 3 mil. Just to kind of give you a perspective how big it is. These little 3 mils are amazing. Like you can see how little that is. That's a 4 millimeter dropper. So these little 3 mils are tiny. Say if you're on the Mississippi River, or you're central Wisconsin or Illinois or Iowa, some of these places where you need to go small, there's your ticket. Imagine threading a spike up that or a waxworm on a tough bite. They won't even feel that little profile, yet you still got that little bit of weight to get you down there. So that's our new disco ball. Like I said, 4 sizes, 3 colors in that. And they do shine a lot more in person. I'm not sure how they look on the phone, but like I said, it's probably a little tough for him to get the whole advantage there. So we're excited about
That
that
is
one as
okay
well.
because you're doing a fairly good job of explaining it. And I love the difference in sizes and I love seeing different colors and that kind of rainbowy metallic in the middle because that is always a really fun one to use. And absolutely the difference in the sizing there makes it super, super useful. And so that's something that honestly I am so excited to use this year.
Yeah. And if you guys are like me, we used to use a lot of little split shots to get our jigs down there when we used the lead jigs. And I'm sure when you guys were using your Vexilars, I always said crappies or bluegills, zoom right past your jig up to that tiny, tiny little smallest split shot they make, and they'd be chasing that split shot around. So obviously right there, perfect example. Downsize that little 3 or 4, thread a spike or a wax from right up that thing, or maybe hook one little spike off to get a tiny little profile, and you're on it. And trout fishermen, perfect little jig too. Give them a little flash, but something very, very small for them. It's exactly what you need.
Well, and quite frankly, a gold hook is something that you could put on the end of your line and just like leave there all year and probably
Yeah.
be fairly successful. So,
Yeah,
Well,
you'd be a
and
pretty safe bet buying those 4 and rolling with those 4 all year. You definitely get that trick, like you said.
well, and something that really got my eye is there's a lot of hook shank there, and for those of us that like to do a little bit of customizing, because like I say, most of the shows I'm a tinkerer, and those would be good. Those would lend themselves well to something like a bloodworm pattern or some kind of scud pattern that you can adapt to that shape of a head, and you don't have to worry about tying a bead on or something at your tying vise. You could literally just take that jig and wrap your little jelly around it, tie it off at the end, put a little nail polish on it, and there you go. You got a whole lure you don't even need bait for.
Absolutely.
that is a really interesting point. The long shank, you always do think about the plastics that you can thread on there. But if you are the kind of person that does fly tying,
Yeah.
that's really an interesting point.
It's funny you say that, Josh, because speaking of tinkering, we messed around with the hooks a lot. We just didn't run 4 standard hooks on that. Actually, that small little 3 mil here, you'll see it. It still does have a good shank. I actually ran that on a long shank heavy duty hook. It's a long shank heavy duty 16. So yeah, you're getting that tiny little 16, but it's a little meatier hook, has a lot higher break strength, and it does have that longer shank. That way you sometimes you use them real little 16s. You have a tendency to nick the fish, especially to get in some big bluegills and they're just barely lipping. You set the hook and you just feel that little nick and they're gone. That's why we ran that long shank in there. We felt like it had a lot better hookup ratios when we were testing it out, and we're really excited to do that as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Perfect. Should we go on to the boxes? Show them what the boxes look like?
Let's see them.
All right. Before we get to the big suitcase, let's talk about the little one. All right. So what we did here, our small box has always been very popular. People love the size. I just wasn't happy with the quality of it. I wanted something that's very, very high quality, obviously, if we're going to put our name on it. So what I did here is completely redesigned our new small box. We switched the acrylic to shatterproof acrylic, upgraded the hinges in the front, upgraded the latches, upgraded the hinges in the back, heavier duty hinges. Obviously, you can see we switched the foam out for a brand new silicone insert. We also did is we sunk that seal down inside there. In doing so, what we did is we actually put a really little lip on the box, so that way you still get that same compression seal when you go to close it up. That lip goes down in there and compresses it shut. Again, now it's a shatterproof acrylic box, has a heavy duty latch, heavy duty hinge. Everything about it is literally better than our old smalls. But what's great is we were able to keep that the exact same size where you can throw it right in your sweatshirt pocket, any of your bib pockets, your coat pockets. It's just a perfect little size box if you're just running out for the night, or maybe one or a morning or 2 on the weekends. Good enough.
Well, the clear is super useful as an because if you have an idea, you're thinking about switching to something. I don't know. I'm a little bit indecisive, and sometimes I need to pull out my box and actually look at what's there a few times. And if I don't have to open latches and go through things, and I can just look through, that is a huge benefit.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny. You'll find something that's working, you'll break it off. And like, okay, what do I have that's the closest to it? So obviously it gives you the ability to scan it all quick, pop it open, grab whatever you need. You can see all these little V's are actually slitted in the silicone. So what you do is you just grab your jig and you can just slide it in hook first. It slides right in that silicone, gives it a great hold in there. Won't go anywhere at all. So that does hold a pile of jigs.
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, it just holds a lot of jigs. And obviously, if you use, people always ask, well, how many does it hold? And that obviously varies. Bigger the jigs, it won't hold as many. I personally like to space them out maybe every other spot. If they're really big jigs, I'll do every 3 slots. But if you use a small 3 or 4 mil, absolutely, you can still do every slot. You can fit 60 on each side, so it'll hold 120 very, very comfortably. But go ahead, Emily.
No, I like the way that you were sliding them in there, because sometimes when you have the silicone box, it's like hard to like jam it in, you know, so to have that little notch there is a really easy way to slide that in. So that's really great. But the other thing that I like is that, you know, with being a clear box and the holidays coming up, that's like a fabulous gift to give somebody, because you open that up and it's like shock factor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a nice little box. Throw a few jigs in it. We do sell them as kits too. This new box will be available very soon online. We're hoping to get that up. That will be after the Sioux Falls shows. We'll get that up as well. That's not currently available, but it will be very, very soon. So there that is. And then on to our Tungsten Suitcase. I won't show you that one yet, but I'll show you this one. So here it is, our brand new Tungsten Suitcase. Somebody asked earlier about the MAGA kit. Here's what we did. I know Emily just talked about the clear box, but I'll show you exactly why we went to yellow instead. So what we did here, open it up just like our traditional suitcase. And here you got double-sided foam. You got slit foam throughout the entire box this time. That way it allows you a lot more versatility. You can hook your small little 3 mils in there. You can go all the way up to like our big tungsten jig heads, tungsten spoons, any spoon. Just hook them in there, any little micro ice spoon, no problem at all. Any of your jigs, no issue. And what's nice about that is this dense foam on the lid. When you go to close it, what it does is it forms a compression seal on your jigs as well. You lock it up. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You can throw it in your shack and not have to worry about it. We did some testing on this again. We threw it in the shack, just drug it across the ice for several miles, and not one jig moved. It was very, very impressive. The other boxes are great, unless you're throwing them in your shack or you got them, you know, maybe in your boat and you're hitting some big waves and the jigs are bouncing around. So we wanted to completely eliminate that problem, and it's exactly what we did with this. It's not just your traditional jig box. This is a great suitcase to use year-round. Again, it's waterproof. With all that foam in there, it does not matter how many jigs you have in there. It will float like a bobber. We loaded that thing up with tons and tons of raw tungsten, threw it in our pond, and it still was bobbing around out there. No issues at all going down. So I will promise you that. There's a ton of foam. Backside, same deal.
Oh.
You got the rubber compression seal on, and you got the foam in the lid as well on the backside. So again, you got the full insert to organize your jigs how you want. Here's my personal box. Obviously, when they came in, I had to load one up, switch them out of my prototype box. You can see they line up there so nice. So like some of the smaller jigs, some of the smaller jigs I double up in one row because the rows are longer. But then like some of your lawn shank, like here's our lawn shank 5.5 mil droppers. It's a lot bigger jig. I like just doing one, keep them ultra organized. Again, you have 2 sides. You can show them the lid here, Sam. You kind of see the lid, how it compresses. See how little divots in the lid? See all that? Yeah. So when you close it, it actually compresses down on the jigs a little bit and holds them in there very, very good.
Oh my gosh. I like want you to come with the box to keep it that organized.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Well, what's nice about this is it's easy to keep it organized. You throw them in here, use it. Like I said, definitely don't put your tungsten jigs away in the open water. I know Carla, she's watching. She's a great customer, and she's one that catches a lot of fish all year round. I know my dad does a ton of fish, and he's the same way. He's completely hooked on tungsten. He just uses those 5 and 4 mils all year round. It's a great jig, and people got to realize like that 5 mil tungsten, it's a 1/24 of an ounce. You know, so it's still a good jig. I mean, you can fish that, you know, if no current, comfortably down 20, 25 foot of water, no issue. I mean, that jig sinks really, really well, and obviously paired with that little hook, it's a phenomenal jig. One thing I do strongly recommend, obviously if you use them in the summer, your fish are more aggressive, definitely use a toothpick. That's what a lot of guys question me, like, how can you use them in the summer? They suck them down. Like when I take kids out, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll tie in a little 4 mil for them. That way they do suck it down. A lot of times when you have a really young kid, like when I take our youngest daughter out, she's only 3, she has a tendency just to start reeling. So what I'll do for her all the time is I'll tie a 4 mil on. That way they just literally just suck it down. So she can start reeling. It doesn't matter. She doesn't have to set the hook. It's all the way down to the throat. get them up. You just take that toothpick, pop it right out, no issues at all. The biggest thing is, like I said, you need to use that toothpick. If you're trying to go down there with the forceps or pliers, you're going to obviously kill your fish and kill your jigs as well. So it's definitely handy if you're a tungsten jig fisherman in the summer. Keep that toothpick handy. My little son, he's 6 years old. It's funny. We'll go out and he has that toothpick all over the boat with him. He pops them out himself. It's very, very easy to use. Once you get used to it, you just put a little tension on the line and pop it out. As a convenience, we do sell those on our website as well. That's the Cold Snap toothpick. Just a little V toothpick. It knocks the jigs right out for you. So.
Yeah, that is actually a really great thing to point out, because that's another thing that'll just help save the life of your fish. If you are doing catch and release anyways, you want to make sure that fish is going back in good condition. And that is honestly one of the best tools that I have found to help do that.
Yeah, it's harmless. Get them out quick. Get them back in the water if you're going to let them go. And if obviously you're going to keep them, same thing. It's still going to save that fish from being dead in your live well immediately, and also save your jigs as well. And you keep popping them out that toothpick. It's no issue at all. Like I said, our kids almost use them exclusively, just the tungsten jigs. And typically our kids are 6, 5, and 3. So typically the younger two, especially the younger two girls, usually I do tie a 4 mil on for them. And that's what they're using for their bluegill fishing. And they work phenomenal. The bluegills tip it with a real little piece of crawler or waxworm, and the bluegills just suck it in. So obviously you'll get crappies on it too, but yeah, the bluegills absolutely love them. So
that is actually really awesome.
Yeah.
So if anybody at home has questions or comments or things that they're thinking about still, get that in the comments. Let us know, and we will still try to talk about that. There is a few questions up here. Oh, I thought this was a question. I thought you were asking what's the best deep water jig for plastics. And I'm like, well, depends on what they're biting on, right? But I think it's more of a statement. And then the other thing, Ray is asking if you're selling those jigs in Minnesota.
At the St. Paul show? Or where?
Oh no, maybe I'm reading that wrong too. He's selling these jigs in Minnesota.
Oh, perfect.
Ray's kind of in our area. He was under the impression that he couldn't get these jigs, but you can definitely go online and order, especially the new stuff like the droplet. That's going to be down, like you said, Wednesday or Thursday next week. And then in addition to the website, he's also selling them in Sioux Falls, Minnesota. So don't worry,
the show's coming up. Yeah.
And if you really need some, I'm sure that Emily will share hers with you, Ray. So just come up to our house and she'll share some with you.
Absolutely.
I love sharing, but it's hard to share jigs. I don't even share with Josh.
Yeah, it's funny. It's my buddies think too. We go out fishing. They're always like, "Hey, you got it." I'm catching them on something. I might be switching sizes. I'm constantly changing jigs. Obviously, I'll find exactly what they're dialed in on. Oh, hey, give me some. It's like, well, we got 2 or 3 along. Obviously I'll give them to them. And I got a couple other buddies, and they're like, "How don't you have more along? You got, you own the jig business." It's like, guys, I can't carry 2,000 jigs with me every time. I got a couple of each one, and it's as good as I can do. But no, it's a lot of fun. That's for sure.
Oh gosh. Dave is saying he's looking forward to your Black Friday special. That's assuming, are you having one?
We will. We will be doing the same format as last year. We'll be running that Wednesday at midnight. So going into Wednesday at midnight through Friday at midnight. That way everybody's not rushing around. We used to do a 1-day sale, but then we felt like we always get emails or calls, people that missed it. So we open it up for 3 days. That way it doesn't interfere with your family plans, and nobody's staying up till midnight, Thursday into Friday after Thanksgiving, after a long day, trying to get it in. So we'll open that up Wednesday already, all the way through Friday. We will be running some great deals on there. Everything, I can tell you this, everything site-wide will be on sale. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, different products are marked down more, but our tungsten are usually a huge hit that day. We do run a really, really good price on them all 3 days. So one more thing I want to show is like our kits. People a lot of times are asking about them. It's one of our popular kits. We offer several different kits, anything from a 20-piece up to a 120-piece mega kit in our suitcase. He's grabbing the phone out. He's going to come in on it. We do offer, like I said, several different ones. This is one of our most popular. This is our 40-piece glow kit. So this one here is cool because you get your 3 millimeters, you get your 4 millimeter glow series, your 5 mil, and you even get your scuds and lucky ladies in there as well. So that one just gives you a great great amount of versatility when you're out in the ice. Obviously covers your everything from your perch all the way down to your finicky fish in midwinter, late ice. So obviously gives you several different profiles as well. That's a really popular one. Like I said, we do have several kits available online. A lot of times people are like, well, can I get them in a bundle or a kit? And I'm sure I'll get the question that droplets won't be in a kit yet. We will have them in later this year, but it won't be something we will have out immediately. We obviously introduced them to the wholesale and retail at their shows a couple months ago, and obviously they went really, really well. So they will be in a lot of stores in your local areas. If they carry Widowmaker product, there's a good chance these will be in your local store as well. So that's what we're busy with now, is trying to get all these orders out, get everybody going. Then we'll showcase them online as well. But again, like I said earlier, I would not that we're going to run out right away, but they've been very, very popular. I'd advise maybe buying these before Black Friday. Put it that way. Everything else might be safe on, but if you want the new droplet, they've been a hit with the stores. So I would grab those as quickly as you can. That's for sure. He's going to show you them again there. There's that larger 5 mil equivalent with a number 10 hook. And what I did with these guys is I did run lawn shanks in both of them. I switched the hook out to a lawn shank heavy duty hook. So it is a little longer hook than your traditional size 10 and size 12. You'll notice that. But again, it fishes, especially that 4 mil. If you're going to fish live bait, that's a great option. Throw a wax worm or a couple spikes on there. But either size, if you're fishing plastics, any of your wider body plastics will slide right up over that collar. Like some of your microplastics, like we offer the little swimmer, obviously won't fit over that. But like even our little waxy junior slides right up over that. And any of your bigger profile baits, your wider profile baits will go up there, no problem. I know that I had it rigged up tonight here with a chigger fry, and those work great. I know actually Euro Tackle was next door to me at one of the wholesale shows, so he had some stuff, and I rigged it up to show those guys on a bunch of his baits, and he has several baits that worked really, really well on it as well. So don't forget, obviously, when you're rigging that up, like I said, with those translucent baits, I know a lot of companies make baits that are, clear or translucent, like even like some of these colors here. Yeah, it's pink or purple, but it is a translucent pink or purple. They'll glow right through those. So that gives it another whole option of versatility as well.
Well, and that whole other dimension to be able to take, even if you took like a clear red and put it on a red, it gives it more of a three-dimensional, because you can see through a lot of those aquatic insects. And so being able to replicate that, especially now that you've brought the paint scheme all the way through, that's really cool.
Yeah, I think it really, really looks nice in like the Cracker Eyes. When we were playing around with it, I loved it in the Cracker Eyes version. Gives it, like you said, a lot of those insects, you can see their little veins and stuff inside them. And obviously so you can look inside there with them Cracker Eyes patterns. It kind of mimics that majorly when you use those with a translucent plastic. Looks really, really good, really lifelike. So absolutely.
Gosh, that's exciting.
Yeah, we are excited. We're excited to get going again, get back and see everybody, talk to everybody. It's definitely going to be nice. We missed out on that whole component last year. And I'd say for us, it's one of the most satisfying things for like myself and wife, and even employees that put a lot of time in here. Get out there in front of everybody and get to socialize with them and hear the good feedback. Hey, I caught my biggest bluegill ever on this, or here, look at this crappie picture. That's the stuff we love. We love the stories. It's not just grinding out every day in here, filling wholesale orders, stuff like that. It's really, really great to get out and actually talk to our customers face to face and even put names to faces. I know there's a lot of customers I email back and forth with, or maybe call or Facebook. It's so nice to get there, meet them in person, and actually have a legit face-to-face conversation with them.
Well, and that's a really good point to bring up, is that for any of you that aren't familiar with Widowmaker lures, this is a family thing. Brian's wife, Brian's brother, the kid, the next door neighbor is holding the camera. So I mean, the whole thing is a whole family affair, and that's how they treat you once you join in on buying some of the product, and you come back and you can tell the stories. And Brian, I don't know how you do it, but you have a very good affinity of remembering a lot of these people, because as much as we love to come talk to you, it's hard to get a conversation in with you, because you have so many stories going on with so many of the Widowmaker family. And it is honestly so awesome, just to see that from our perspective looking in. It's such a great company that you guys have.
Thanks a lot, Josh. It means a lot. Like you said, it's funny, a lot of times I'll get to talking to people and they don't realize, like, I still paint every one of our tungsten jigs that we have. I do all the airbrush, and I got some staff that help do the detail work, and I'll go over and clear coat it. So it's nice. I'll talk to people, and I see the orders come in. I print the orders first thing every morning, so I see who's ordering what. So I do see all the names. So somebody comes in and I'm like, hey, do you remember me? It's like, well, absolutely. I've seen your name on the orders. I've seen you reordered 6 times this year. It's nice. It's really, really cool. That's my favorite component of the shows, is getting to put those faces to the names. I know through the years we met a lot of our awesome customers. I know some are watching tonight, and I really, really appreciate it. And I love going out to the shows and seeing them more than anything. So.
Yeah, that's absolutely for sure. So for people who unfortunately cannot make it to shows or expos, can you tell us, can they follow you on social media, and do you have a website?
Absolutely. We're on the 3 major platforms. We're on Facebook. You can find us at Widowmaker Lures. Same thing on Instagram or Twitter, just Widowmaker Lures. As far as you want to buy direct, you can buy directly from us, and that's www.widowmakerlures.com. We take a lot of pride. We try to ship all orders within 24 hours. A lot of times, if they're in before noon, we'll ship them same day. We're located right here in Iowa, so a lot of you Midwest, if you're in the Midwest, you'll get it usually next day or a couple days. Otherwise, there is a lot of local stores, and they continue to add it as well. We've added a lot more stores this year again, which is a lot of fun. So that way, people can go into their local bait shop and see it and grab the product. And if you have a local bait shop, and hey, I mean, we're easy to work with. We have a lot of wholesalers throughout the Midwest, and we do service some accounts direct. So if they want to go into their local bait shop and just request them, no issue at all. They can get a hold of me, and I can hook them up with some jigs pretty in a hurry. That's for sure.
So awesome.
That is really exciting. And Josh also got the website in the comments here. So if you are on Facebook or on YouTube, that should just be clickable in the comment section. So go and check that out. And, I'm really looking forward to seeing all that new stuff on the website. So thanks for putting it up there.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, like I said, the disco ball's on there now. We'll be doing a full release on that. This is one of the first times anybody's actually seen that droplet, but that will launch next week, and we'll do a big unveiling, a video, my wife and I as well, on that next week, and we'll release that. But you guys definitely got a sneak peek tonight, get to see it and kind of get excited about maybe be one of the first ones to grab them. Like I said, I would strongly recommend maybe grabbing that droplet right away. So
I know I'm going to do that. So
yeah, I think you'll probably have some at Sioux Falls already, Emily. We'll see you Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, and one quick thing, I usually start ending the show with some thank yous, but a really quick shout out to your cameraman tonight, because honestly, he did a really great job.
Awesome job.
Yeah, he did good. He's a great helper. It's our neighbor kid, Sam. He even helps sticker some of our cards, do some packaging. They're great people. And like you said, it's a family business. There was a big order we had to get out about a month ago. It was a Saturday afternoon, and us neighbors are really close. There's 4 of us households that are close, and they knew my wife and I, and we had my brother in town and my mom and dad. They knew we were really struggling to get these. We had to get like 50,000 2-packs out by Monday morning. Saturday night, all of a sudden, here come all the neighbors. I mean, it was a huge blessing. There was 12 of us in the shop till 1 a.m, packaging and stapling jigs as fast as we could. We ended up getting the whole order out by Monday. It was remarkable, the team effort, and everybody came through like that. We were very, very thankful to have great neighbors, great family, and great friends. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. Well, thanks to all of them, because we all
Yeah.
appreciate the jigs and all of that as well. So that is super cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, guys, and probably see you next weekend, right?
Yeah, that'll be for sure. And thank you to you too. And thank you also to the people at home who are tuning in, because it is always a ton of fun to hear your comments and questions and thoughts and all your cool things about the jigs and fishing. So always love that. And actually, really quick, as a side note, because we have shows coming up, we are actually going to have a few weeks coming up where we move to Wednesday nights. So in a shocking turn of events, there's just some Thursdays where we are traveling, and so we won't be in a place where we would be able to talk to you guys. So if you are looking for us on a normal night, I apologize, and definitely you can rewatch the run of Wednesday, but otherwise tune in on Wednesday. So next week on the 10th is when we will see you guys next for the Night Bite. So looking forward to that, and can't wait to see you then.
Night,